This past week, the world didn't pause, and neither did the headlines. While we went about our days, history unfolded behind the noise. A quiet negotiation here, a global reaction there, and breakthroughs that could shape our tomorrow. But not every headline screams. Some slip past unnoticed, even as they shake the ground beneath our feet. That's where Now, and Noted Now, steps in. Not to overwhelm, but to connect. In the next few minutes, we'll walk through 8 of the most impactful stories from around the world. Each one chosen for what it meant, not just what it said. Because news isn't just about what happened, it's about why it matters. Let's begin. A familiar headline just returned to the front pages. Former President Donald Trump has signed a new proclamation that effectively bans entry to citizens from 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Iran, Somalia, and North Korea. The administration claims it's a matter of national security, a direct response to the recent Boulder attack and ongoing concerns over undocumented immigration. But this move echoes the controversial travel bans from his first term, reigniting global debate over fairness, discrimination, and diplomacy. Human rights organizations have condemned the decision, calling it a step backward in international relations. The ban could severely affect families, students, and skilled workers hoping to enter the U.S., many of whom have already waited years in the immigration system. Supporters argue the decision is about protecting American lives. Critics say it fuels xenophobia and sends the wrong message to allies. Either way, Trump's return to hardline immigration policy is already making waves, at home and abroad. A phone call between 2 of the world's most influential figures has reopened a door that many believed was sealed shut. Donald Trump and Xi Jinping have agreed to resume high-level economic talks between the United States and China, signaling a potential shift in tone after years of rising tension. The conversation, described as measured but constructive, focused on trade barriers, tech regulation, and military presence in the South China Sea. While no formal agreements were made, the fact that dialogue is back on the table has already sparked movement in global markets. Analysts caution against over-optimism. Both leaders remain deeply entrenched in nationalistic agendas, but some believe this could mark the beginning of a new cold, where economic necessity may override political pride. The world is watching. What comes next could reshape global trade, supply chains, and geopolitical alliances for years to come. This week, the European Central Bank cut interest rates by 0.25%, bringing the main rate down to 2%, the 8th reduction since June 2024. Officials say the move is designed to counteract sluggish economic growth and persistently low inflation across the Eurozone. But not everyone is convinced it will be enough. With energy costs stable and consumer demand flat, investors are asking a bigger question. Is Europe entering a long-term economic slowdown? The ECB hopes to stimulate lending and spending, but critics argue that rate cuts alone won't fix deeper structural issues like aging populations and stalled productivity. Markets responded cautiously, with modest upticks in European stocks and a slight weakening of the euro. But behind the charts, the message is clear. Europe is nervous, and nervous economies make nervous partners, especially in a world where every region as slowdown ripples globally. In this chess match of central banks, the next move may be political, not monetary. In a stunning move, Dutch far-right leader Geert Wilders has pulled his Freedom Party out of the governing coalition, triggering a total collapse of the Dutch government. Prime Minister Dick Schoof resigned shortly after, and new elections are already being scheduled for October. Wilders, known for his hardline anti-immigration stance, accused coalition partners of watering down national priorities, particularly on border control and asylum policy. His departure has reignited fierce debate over the future of Dutch politics and the role of populism in Western Europe. While his supporters cheer a return to sovereignty, critics warn of democratic instability and growing polarization. Some analysts even suggest this move could be a calculated step toward consolidating more power in the next election, positioning Wilders for a full takeover. Europe is watching nervously. If Wilders regains control, the Netherlands could shift sharply, not only domestically, but in its EU policies, foreign aid, and stance on migration. The fallout has just begun. After months of political chaos, South Korea has elected Lee Jae-myung as its new president, a dramatic turn following the impeachment of former leader Yoon Suk-yeol accused of involvement in a failed coup attempt. The country now stands at a critical crossroads, both domestically and on the world stage. Lee, a progressive voice with a background in social justice, has promised to restore trust in government and reposition South Korea diplomatically. Early statements suggest a desire to balance relations between the US, China, and Russia, moving away from a heavily US-centric strategy. The election has reignited tensions in the Korean peninsula, with North Korea issuing a strongly worded warning just hours after the results. Meanwhile, global markets reacted with caution, watching closely how Lee will navigate military alliances and trade partnerships. It's more than a leadership change. It's a reset of South Korea's role in Asia's balance of power, one that could affect everything from regional security to tech supply chains in the West. What started as mutual admiration has turned into a very public falling out. Elon Musk and Donald Trump, two of the most polarizing figures in business and politics, are now clashing openly, and the rift is revealing cracks in the conservative tech political alliance. It began when Musk criticized Trump's economic proposals as backward-looking and accused him of failing to understand modern innovation. Trump fired back quickly, calling Musk all hype, no results, and dismissing his ventures as overpriced science fiction. For years, their relationship was built on occasional praise and shared disdain for government control. But now, their visions are diverging. With Trump leaning into nationalism and Musk doubling down on globalism, artificial intelligence, and libertarian ideals, the tension isn't just personal. It signals a broader split in right-wing influence, one rooted in traditional politics, the other in tech-driven disruption. As 2026 elections approach, the question is, who's the real face of conservative power? The worlds of music, media, and advertising are about to collide. On the sand, rap icon Ludacris has been announced as the headliner of the Freewheel Beach concert at the prestigious Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity in France. The performance is scheduled to close out a full day of NBC Universal's programming, where global marketing powerhouses, creatives, and brands come together. But this isn't just a concert. It's a signal that entertainment and advertising have fully merged into one unified global culture. For Ludacris, it's another international milestone. For the festival, it's proof that the line between art and commerce has completely blurred. The beach concert is expected to draw major names from Hollywood, tech, and fashion, not just for the music, but for the networking, brand deals, and media moments it generates. In a world where influence is currency, Cannes remains a capital. In the heart of Kathmandu, thousands are marching, not for a revolution, but for a return. Pro-monarchy protests have erupted across Nepal, calling for the restoration of the Hindu monarchy and the return of former King Gyanendra Shah. The demonstrations are peaceful but powerful. Protesters chant royalist slogans, wave traditional flags, and accuse the Republican government of corruption, incompetence, and losing touch with Nepal's cultural identity. This movement, once considered fringe, is now drawing young and old alike, especially after a series of scandals and economic failures under the current administration. Nepal abolished its monarchy in 2008, transitioning to a republic after a brutal civil war. But now, with frustration mounting and faith in institutions eroding, the crown is once again being seen as a symbol of order and heritage. Is this a symbolic outcry, or the beginning of a serious political shift? For Nepal, and for South Asia, the answer could reshape a nation's identity. This week reminded us that behind every headline is a deeper current of power being claimed, challenged, or reimagined. From collapsing governments and surprise elections to ideological rifts and symbolic protests. The world continues to shift, not all at once, but everywhere at once. What unites these stories isn't geography or politics, it's their impact. These aren't just news events, they're signs of how fast alliances evolve, how influence is negotiated, and how people across the globe respond to uncertainty. At Now and Noted Now, we don't just track the news, we look for the connections, the ripples that stretch beyond borders, the voices rising beneath the noise. As the next week begins, one thing is clear: the world is watching, the world is changing, and we'll be here, noting every moment.